Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Taimur Ijlal and I'm a senior security consultant at Amazon Web Services. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what cloud security certification path is right for you in 2025. This is part 2 of my series on cybersecurity careers for 2025. In the first one, I talked about how you can start a cloud security engineer career. If you want to become a cloud security engineer, what are the skills you need to get? What is the path? And in this one, I'm going to deep dive into cloud security certifications. So let's get started. So cloud security certifications, this is something which I get asked a lot. Honestly, the number one question I get asked on LinkedIn or YouTube is, how do I get into cloud security 2025? So that's the whole point of this video. Like that's what I'm doing it. Okay, so before we move ahead, let's take a look. There are so many cloud security certifications. It can become very, very overwhelming, right? You have AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. You have non-platform specific certifications like CCSK, CCSP. You have very specialized certifications like the Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist. So which should you go for? Where should you start? This is the whole point of this video, okay? Before we move ahead, please do like and subscribe to this channel and share this video if you found it useful. Okay, so the first thing I want to be very, very clear to you about is like your path, your certification path, it depends on person by person. Do not just copy somebody who you feel is further than you in your career and you say, okay, this guy is like a head of cloud security. I'm going to just do whatever he did. You take a look at what your career goals are and what your experience level is. If you're starting out, doing an advanced level certification does not make sense. You'll probably fail. You will lose all that money. You will lose all that effort, right? So there's no point. And your career goals, what do you want to do exactly? If you want to be on AWS, then doing like a Google certification doesn't make sense, right? So these are the things you have to keep in mind at all times. What are my career goals? And what is my experience level? Am I a beginner? Do I have like 3 to 5 years of experience? I've gotten a good understanding of cybersecurity. Ask yourself these two questions before you jump into getting certified. But now that if you have these questions, now let's take a look. What are the types of cloud security certifications which are available? At a high level, there are two types, right? Platform agnostic and platform specific. What does that mean? There are a few certifications that are completely, you can apply those concepts to any platform, be it Amazon, Azure, Google, Oracle Cloud, and some are very specific, like the AWS security specialty or the Google security engineer. Those are for specific platforms. So if you want to deep dive into a specific platform, that is a certification for you. And so let's take a look at first at the cloud platform agnostic ones, right? Which are the most popular cloud platform agnostic ones and which is right for you depending on where you are in your career. So the first one is the CCSK. CCSK is the most popular foundation level certification. It's like an open book exam. Like you can complete it in 120 minutes, just 60 questions. There are no experience requirements. If you're just starting out in your career, you have zero knowledge of the cloud and cloud security. If you don't know, if you like those concepts are completely alien to you, this is a certification you should go for. And okay, what if you're a little further ahead in your career? What if you have a good understanding of like cybersecurity and everything? Then there is something called the CCSP. The CCSP, if you are in cybersecurity for a few years, you will be familiar with things like the CISSP. It is from ISC Square. The same people who made and introduced the CISSP, which is considered the gold standard in cybersecurity, they introduced the CCSP. This is an advanced certification. Do not do this if you're starting out. First of all, because you need 5 years of experience, of which 3 must be in information security and 1 month it must be in these domains, right? If you have the CCSK, you can substitute it. Just please be very careful. Do not jump into this certification. I've seen a few people, they have just 1 year of experience. They want to jump into the CCSP. You won't be able to get it anyways. So please keep these things in mind. This is an advanced level certification. It covers everything in cloud security, okay? From cloud concepts, data security, platform, application security, security operations, and legal risk and compliance. So like I said, this is an advanced level certification, not for beginners. Do it after you have a good understanding and if you have a few years of experience. So this is what, like I said, a lot of people ask me, like, should I go for this or should I go for that? It's not about going, you should have a proper path. The path I would recommend is start with the CCSK. If you're completely unfamiliar with the cloud, you have absolutely no idea about the cloud, what are the concepts. Start with the CCSK, get experience, and then do the CCSP. If you already have experience, at least around 3 years, no need to do the CCSK, just go do the CCSP directly. So that is the path I would recommend for you. Both of these are great certifications, but your end goal, if you have experience, should be to get the CCSP, because that is the more valued and the more advanced certification within the market. Okay, so these were the platform agnostic ones, the more popular ones. What about cloud platform specific? So if you are in the cloud, you will be working on a specific platform, right? You might be working on multiple platforms like AWS, Azure, Google, but you have to start somewhere. So let's take a look at the first one, which is AWS. I'm a bit biased because I work in Amazon Web Services. Okay, so but AWS is the most, like, it has the most market share. It is the most popular cloud platform. You really cannot go wrong with this. And for this one, you have the AWS security specialty. This is like an MCQ based certification, and you need to have working experience of AWS services like, security hub, config, all those sort of things. And it's recommended to have like at least 5 years of experience. Again, if you do not know AWS, if you're starting out in AWS, you do not know how the console works, what are the services, do not attempt this certification. You will not be able to do it, and you will fail, and you will unnecessarily waste your money. And usually what I recommend is to do this. If you're completely new to AWS, do the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. That is for beginners. That will teach you how the AWS cloud works, like what are the key services, how cloud works, and then do the AWS security specialty. This is how I did it, because when I was starting out with AWS, I did not even have the slightest idea how AWS works. So this is the path I would recommend for you if you're a complete beginner. If you already have a good experience in AWS, then go ahead and do the security specialty. So that is from the security side. One thing I would recommend, which has newly come out, is this one, the AWS AI Practitioner Foundational Examination. This is for AI. And nowadays, if you're in the cloud, it is very, very difficult for you to ignore the AI and machine learning. This is a very good certification which has just come out. It teaches you about AI concepts, machine learning, generative AI, and it gives you a very good fundamental understanding of these concepts. Do not do this immediately. I would recommend doing the security specialty. Then maybe after 6 months or a year, look at this one also. But this will complement your existing security certification. I just thought I would mention it because it has newly come out. Okay, so that was AWS, which is my area of expertise. Let's move on to Microsoft Azure. Number 2 in the market, very, very close behind AWS. A lot of people prefer this or AWS instead of this, but it doesn't matter. Both of them are excellent platforms to work on. For AWS, you have the Azure Security Engineer. Now with Azure, it's very similar to the security specialty, same thing. You need to have practical experience of Azure and hybrid environments. You know how Azure services work, what are the how these services are configured. You have to go to the exam center, and some of these you might need to do a quick thing in a lab also. Sometimes those questions come along. When I did it, there were some lab-based questions also. So again, this is a very good certification if you have experience of Azure. If you do not have it, I would recommend doing one of the foundational certifications instead of jumping into this directly. And again, to complement this later on, after 6 months or after a year, look at the Azure AI Engineer also. Very similar to the AWS one. It teaches you about machine learning and how Azure AI capabilities are working. It teaches you how those services are configured and how to secure them. So this will very nicely complement the certification that you already have. So that is from the Azure perspective. Okay, let's move on to number 3, Google Cloud. Number 3 in the market, very, very close behind AWS and Azure. With Google, you have the Google Cloud Certified Security Engineer. The same MCQ based questionnaire, but again, you have to know about things like the Google Command Center, Google technologies. Google Cloud, from what I have seen, it is very, very specialized because it is very more niche and it pays better. From what I have seen, for what little market research I have done, like the Google certified people, because I think they are less than AWS and Azure. They get paid more and it's much more niche. So I would definitely recommend doing with this. And long term, I would recommend aiming at the Google Cloud Certified Cloud Architect. It is a very, very difficult certification. I passed this in 2020, I think. And it was a very tough certification, one of the toughest in the market and one of the highest paying. So I would recommend, if you are really interested in making money, do the Google Cloud Security Engineer, and then think about doing the Google Cloud Architect. And that will really make you a very, very niche person within Google Cloud, and you can really command a very excellent salary based on what I've seen. Uh, One more thing I would like to mention, which is specialization, and that is something called Kubernetes. If you're familiar, Kubernetes is an orchestration platform within the cloud, very, very popular. Like most of the companies I know, they are using some form of Kubernetes within the cloud as you move on to like advanced workloads. So I would later on, I would recommend looking at the certified Kubernetes security specialty. This is a very advanced level certification. Only do this if you want a challenge. This is completely optional, but I thought I would mention this. Once you have a good understanding of the cloud, be it Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, then take a look at this. And this will, if your environment has a lot of Kubernetes within it, then you must take a look at this. I think it will give you a very good edge within the market. There are prerequisites to this. You need to be like a certified Kubernetes administrator exam also before doing this. But do check it out if you want to like really set yourself apart within the industry. Okay, so these were like all the certifications I know. So what certification roadmap would I recommend to you? Like I said before, it really depends on where you are within the industry. Like, where are you? So let's take a look. If you are a beginner, I would recommend complete beginner to the cloud, right? You don't have any understanding. Start with the CCSK so you could get a fundamental understanding of cloud security principles and best practices. Then move on to whichever you want to specialize in, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. So you choose either of them, right? And then later on look at doing an advanced specialization like the Kubernetes security specialty. But this is like I said, this is like a 12 to 18 month plan. I'm not saying do this in one month, but this is a long-term roadmap I would recommend for you if you really want to like deep dive into the cloud. If you already have experience, like a 3 to 5 year experience, then specialize in one or more of the cloud providers like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Get a good understanding of what IAM, how these services work, and then get the CCSP. So you have a very good, you can master the cloud security principles which are there across all the platforms. And then later on, completely optional, you can think about doing an advanced specialization like the certified Kubernetes security specialty, completely up to you. But this is what I would recommend for you for like an 18-month plan. If you want to really look at getting certified in a proper way, which like boosts your knowledge. So this is what I would recommend if you have experience. But like I always say, no matter what video I do on certifications, there is a golden rule, which is skills are better than certs. In my first video, I talked about how to become a cloud security engineer and what are the skills you need to have. I'm going to link it in the comment section. Check it out and look at those skills, please. So skills will always be better than certs. Certs will give you good knowledge. They will validate your expertise. But long term, it is skills that will make you stand out, and it is skills that will make you like succeed within the industry. So please remember that and look at my first video also. I hope this was useful to you. Do like and subscribe to the channel if you found it useful. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.